Good evening and thanks for joining us. A Canadian soldier has been charged with first-degree murder in the death of his wife. Today, as Howard Richmond was arraigned in an Ottawa courtroom, Melissa Richmond's family and friends gathered for her funeral. Omar Pacheco has the story.
The funeral for Melissa Richmond was held at this church in CFB Petawawa. Friends of the couple are still stunned.
I know Alyssa, and of course I know her husband, and it's just sad all the way around. She was a great volunteer for us there down in Chesterville. She volunteered for everything, and it's just a sad situation all around for all involved.
Howard Richmond was not at the funeral. He's in an Ottawa jail after a court appearance this morning. Howard Richmond appeared in the Ottawa courthouse looking tired, unshaven. He had his eyes closed for most of his brief appearance. He opened them once to look into the courtroom and nod to his sister, and a second time to acknowledge to the judge that, yes, he understood the instructions that were being presented to him. Howard Richmond reported his wife missing on July 24th. 2 days later, police located her car abandoned in an Ottawa shopping mall. Then last Sunday, police found her body in a storm drain not far from that shopping mall. On Thursday, Howard Richmond spoke to CBC Radio about his wife, saying he was heartbroken.
I'm going through treatment for PTSD right now, post-traumatic stress disorder from my missions. And Melissa was, she was a rock that was getting me through all of it.
Richmond began his military career in 1988. He says he served 6 tours of duty, including 3 in Afghanistan. He also had a passion for medieval reenactment. A member of his reenactment group says she's shocked at the arrest.
It's not the person I know. But, you know, he was trained, and I don't know if it was Howard Richmond or Warrant Officer Richmond that may have allegedly did this. It's just not in his nature to be that way.
Police will not say if they have found the weapon used to kill Melissa Richmond. For now, all they'll say is that she died of stab wounds. Omar Pacheco, CBC News, Ottawa.
Well, police are looking for a suspect following a robbery at a Mac's convenience store on the city's south side Friday. Thunder Bay police responded to the call around 9:30 last night. Officers say the suspect made off with an undisclosed amount of cash. The robbery happened at the Simpson Street location. The clerk was robbed at Syringe Point, but there were no injuries in the incident. The suspect is described as being roughly 6 feet tall, weighing 200 pounds, with black hair. He was wearing a dark sleeve shirt, dark shorts, and white shoes at the time of the robbery. Anyone with information is asked to call Thunder Bay Police or Crime Stoppers. The investigation is ongoing. The Shelter House Thunder Bay is looking to use the game of soccer to improve the lives of the clients they serve. The organization is receiving $28,000 from the Ontario Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport to help start a street soccer program. The program is used in 12 other urban centres across the country. The slogan, "A ball can change the world," promotes a healthy, fun pastime, as well as an opportunity to build self-esteem and relationships through an organized activity. The ultimate goal after the 2-year project is to establish a homeless soccer league in Thunder Bay. Shelter House event coordinator Tessa Murray says the soccer program will help provide a healthy atmosphere for their clients.
It's very important for us to have some form of physical activity for them to participate in. Inclusion is definitely something that helps more with their health and well-being, and it definitely empowers them through the sport to kind of have that something to look forward to and something that they can build skills on and things like that.
Well, the street soccer won't actually be played on a street. Murray says they're looking at possible locations and they're hoping to have the program running by the fall. It'll be a first for Canada and a major boost for the Greenstone area. Steep Building Systems is just about ready to set up shop in the town of Geraldton. Construction to their 12,000 square foot production plant is now winding down, and it's already made an impact on a local project. Jordan Milani has the story.
While the plant was originally scheduled for completion this past spring, Steep Systems President James Kennedy says the excitement is beginning to mount, and so are the sales. The future plant will be the first of its kind in Canada, producing steel-insulated panels to be used mostly in residential and commercial construction. Kennedy says the late winter played a major role in their delay, but they're now busy quoting jobs all over the world.
You know, obviously a lot of people were waiting to make sure that we were going to be completed on time and before they, committed. But now that we're closing in on it, the orders are starting to get actually a little scary.
Kennedy says their strong but lightweight panels have seen great interest from Latin American countries, which Steep Systems has gained contracts with for several large projects. Don Dickens, project engineer, has commissioned several similar plants all over the world and is assured that the product will also fare well in the sometimes harsh Canadian climate.
It's highly insulated. It goes up fast. You can get it closed in very quickly, so inclement weather doesn't affect it. It's worked out beautifully for Russia in the Siberian area, for Alaska, and I think it will be for Canada also.
The new panel system was recently used to construct the walls for a high school addition in Long Lake 58 First Nation. The product was used for many of the interior and exterior walls for the 4 new classrooms, 2 trade shops, and expanded split gym.
Didn't take very long, like half a day for most of the guys to catch on how to put them together and put them up. It took us, there's 450 feet of walls, and it took us all in all 3 days to complete, have them assembled and installed.
Kennedy expects another 4 weeks are needed before the first plant will be fully operational, though some experts feel there may be more facilities coming close behind.
We think that this will be the first of several plants. The only problem is it may reduce our exports from the U.S. with all these plants up here.
Jordan Milani, TBT News.
Well, they say a penny for your thoughts. How about 200,000 pennies for your floor? As Mike Albanese reports, one local artist is paying tribute to the coin by creating a floor full of art, 1 penny at a time.
Ever since the phasing out of the penny began, people have been finding out unique things to do with them. Hannah Johnson, owner of Gallery 33, decided to build a decorative floor, and to find out the total amount of pennies she would need, she just used her common sense.
I played around with pennies to figure out how many I would need in 1 square foot, and then just multiplied that by the number of square feet in here.
The gallery has a lot of community interest, so regional artists and art enthusiasts enjoy using the gallery for everything it's worth, including a place to volunteer.
It's a really fun project. I have a few volunteers here already, and we've been having a pretty good morning. I also think it's going to visually look really, really good when it's done, and you might not recognize what it is right away.
Attaining 200,000 pennies wasn't the easiest feat, though, but Johnson found many ways to get her hands on the copper coins, even paying the United Way dollar for dollar to take their pennies off their hands.
I've been collecting them since January, and I've been lucky. A lot of members from the community have come and donated their pennies to me, which I've been very, very grateful for.
Cindy Arpin, one of Johnson's weekend employees, spoke upon how she hopes once people see the art beneath the art, their eyes will open up a little more.
Hopefully this will be a way to draw in people to, show them that it's not just the work on the walls, it's not just the work in the cases, it's also art everywhere in Thunder Bay, like on the floors, behind buildings. It's very interesting.
The gallery showcases the finished floor at 7 p.m. on August 28th, where you won't be able to walk on a street paved with gold, but a floor paved with history. Mike Albanese, TBT News.
Well, next time you see the royal baby, Prince George, he may be sporting some new Canadian footwear. A pair of traditional moccasins and mukluks, to be exact, handcrafted and fit for a future king. Angela Johnson reports.
It's delicate work for the most delicate of toes. And soon, a handcrafted Manitoba design could be spotted on those tiny royal feet. Assembly of First Nations Chief Sean Atleo bought Prince George a pair of mukluks and a pair of moccasins, a symbol of historic ties between Aboriginal people and the Crown.
You put their feet in here and then you wrap this around their ankles.
Designer Edna Nabis is still getting used to the idea she crafted footwear for a prince.
It's kind of overwhelming right now, but it's a good overwhelming because it's, to me, it's for our people.
Nabis has sewn moccasins by hand for almost 4 decades, using locally sourced and tanned leather. Her creations are now among a list of gifts from Canada sent to the young prince, including popular Canadian children's books from the Governor-General and Prime Minister, and a $100,000 donation to a child-focused charity. There's no guarantee Prince George will actually wear the moccasins or mukluks. Still, Nabis's relatives say they're excited to see her work possibly recognized on a world stage.
She really does make a very good product, People keep coming back for it. If you want the best, get it from the best.
The baby prince will no doubt be photographed everywhere he goes, which could bring global exposure to Nabis's work.
These ones are going to be slippers, and then these ones are boots.
But Nabis has more modest hopes for the moccasins. She just hopes George tries them on.
I hope he senses the pride that went into making them. It's our culture, and hopefully he looks a little bit more into that.
Whether he wears them or not, Nabis is already getting calls from other parts of the country, from people searching for footwear handcrafted for a future king. Angela Johnston, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Well, we're now into the Little League Championship here, and Thunder Bay's doing pretty well.
They are, yeah. The Senior Little League Championship's happening in Thunder Bay, Canadian Championship. And yeah, they're off to quite the start. I'll have highlights from their game today after the break.
Well, it's a bit of a chilly weekend here in Thunder Bay, but the Thunder Bay Chill are not here. They're in Austin, Texas, enjoying the warm weather there.
Is that what you did there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, they are in Austin, Texas. Temperatures there are just a little bit warmer.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I'll get to that in just a second. But before we do, the Thunder Bay Selects have had quite the start to the Canadian Senior Little League Championships. After winning the district playdowns, the team didn't take part in the provincial championship. As the host team of nationals, they already had their spot booked, and the extra practice has paid off so far. The Selects were 3-0 heading into this afternoon's game with Saskatchewan, who was also sporting an undefeated 2-0 record. Pick it up tied at 2 in the second. Thunder Bay starter Tommy Biley uncorks the wild pitch. Doug Englot takes off and scores from third. That gives Saskatchewan their first lead of the game. After Brandon Kokoski drove in another run to make it 4-2, Andy Adams-Huber ground ball up the middle. Dan Del Paggio gets to it, but his throw to first in the dirt. Another run scores. That caps a 5-run inning, and it's 5-2 Saskatchewan. Top three, now 5-3, 2 men on. Cody Hooker lays down the bunt. Biley gets to it, but his throw is also off the mark at first. One of the 5 errors that Thunder Bay made on the day. Another run scores to make it 6-3. Next batter is Gage Wendell, and he smashes the Biley offering to right. This ball goes all the way to the wall. 2 more runs come around to score. Wendell would end up on third with a stand-up triple. Saskatchewan would add 2 more in the inning to put up a 6th spot. They were up 11-3. Bottom 4, now 12-4. How about some D? Tyler Miniletti, the comebacker, but watch Will Stein reach behind him and snag it, then makes the play at first. Have another look. A great play by the young Saskatchewan pitcher to rob Miniletti of a base hit. A run did score on the play to make it 12-5. Same inning. Chris Bezuski laces an RBI single to center field. Another run plates. The Selects put up 5 runs of their own in the inning to cut the lead to 12-8. Top 5, runner at third. DJ DePiro unleashes the wild pitch. Englot trying to score again, but Miniletti gets it to a covering DePiro quickly, and Englot is out at the plate. Now remember that play. Home half of the inning, it's 13-8. Thunder Bay loads the bases. Miniletti drives a single to right. 2 runs come around to score. The Selects would add another in the inning, and what do you know? They're down by just 2. Bottom 6, runner at third. Ryan Nason comes through with an RBI single to right. Max Ridholm trots home, scores easily, and it's a 1-run ball game. Same inning, little controversy. 2 out, Miniletti ground ball to short. Stein flips to Cole Sexsmith. Should be inning over, but Sexsmith drops the ball. Saskatchewan manager Aubrey Stein comes out to argue he dropped it on the transfer. But when you see it again, Sexsmith clearly didn't hang on to it. After a conference, the call would stand. So the bases are loaded for Biley, and he delivers in the clutch. A base hit that's going to fall in center. 2 runs come in to score, and the Selects battle all the way back down 12-3 at one point. They take the lead for the first time. It's 14-13. Top 7, though. Saskatchewan with 2 on, nobody out. Zach Leonard, the soft liner. It's trapped by Del Pagio at short. He goes to third for the first out, then Biley throws to second for the double play. Selects get a break when they need it. The next batter is Hooker. He lifts a fly ball to left, and that is going to do it. Thunder Bay playing the comeback kids again. They erase a 9-run deficit, come all the way back to beat Saskatchewan 14-13 the final. They're still perfect. Now 4-0. They play Quebec tomorrow night. In Northwoods League action last night, the Thunder Bay Border Cats lost 9-4 to the Moondogs of Mankato. Chase Simpson belted a grand slam in the second inning to pace the Dogs past the Cats. The Cats fall to 1-4 on their current road trip. Thunder Bay will play their last road game of the season tonight in Mankato. They'll finish the season with an 8-game homestand starting tomorrow night against Rochester. There's another local team at a pretty big championship this weekend. As Cheryl mentioned, the Thunder Bay Chiller are back in the Premier Development League Final Four for the 4th time in 6 years. It's a little bit warm in Austin, Texas, with temperatures approaching 40 degrees. But the Chill were looking to keep cool. Yeah, see, my turn. In their semifinal last night against Victoria. I should warn you, quality of this video, not very good. Yeah, that's all I can say. It was a webcast nonetheless. Tentative scoreless first half. Chill come out flying in the second. Jose Altamirano shakes the defender, but his sharp angle shot is denied by Victoria keeper Elliot Mitro. In the 56th minute, the BC tender probably wishes he could have this back as the Chill's Sergio Campana volleys a 44-yarder past Mitro, who clearly misplays it. Well, maybe not clearly, but there you go. It was 1-0 Thunder Bay regardless. About 10 minutes later, Sullivan Silva comes on as a substitute, almost adds the insurance marker, but his hard shot is stopped by Mitro, who gets an arm on it. Move to the 90th minute. Silva, watching the top of your screen, goes through 2 defenders, and he's going to blast home his first goal of the season. That's a big one. Chill win 2-0. They'll play Austin in the PDL final tomorrow night.